Hello and welcome to Express News, where we take you through the top 100 news stories of the day. I'm Unman Bhattacharya. Let's get started. The Cabinet today met under the chairmanship of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and approved a mechanism for procurement of ethanol by public sector oil marketing companies under the Ethanol Blended Petrol program. The Union Cabinet has approved the extension of norms for mandatory packaging in jute materials, 100% of the food grains and 20% of the sugar to be mandatorily packaged in diversified jute bags. Union Jal Shakti Minister Gajendra Singh Shekhawat said that the government approved externally aided dam rehabilitation and improvement project Phase 2 and Phase 3 to improve the safety and operational performance of selected 736 dams across the country. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that we should assess our coronavirus fight against the metric of how many lives we are able to save. In an interview to a newspaper, PM said, Atmanirbhar Bharat is not just about competition but also about competence. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said Indian economy is getting back on track faster than expected, and the recent reforms are signal to the world that New India believes in markets and market forces. Accusing Pakistan of spreading terror in various parts of the globe, MEA said the whole world knows the truth about Pakistan and its role in supporting terrorism. MEA spokesperson said the country, which provides shelter to the maximum number of UN-proscribed terrorists, should not even attempt to play the victim card. Former Gujarat Chief Minister Keshubhai Patel passes away in Ahmedabad. He was 92 years old. He was admitted to a private hospital in Ahmedabad following difficulty in breathing. President Ram Nath Kovind expressed condolences over the death of former Chief Minister of Gujarat, Keshubhai Patel. In a message, he said Keshubhai's long public life was dedicated to improving the lives of millions, and as a champion of farmers' causes, he enjoyed extraordinary rapport with masses. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said he is deeply pained and saddened. PM said Keshubhai was an outstanding leader who cared for every section of society, and his life was devoted towards the progress of Gujarat and the empowerment of every Gujarati. He said Keshubhai mentored and groomed many younger Karyakartas, including him. Expressing his anguish over the demise of former Gujarat Chief Minister Keshubhai Patel, PM Narendra Modi in a video message recalled his 45-year-long association with Keshubhai. PM said Keshubhai's death is an irreparable loss for him. Bharatiya Janata Party President JP Nadda slammed Congress for premising its entire campaign around keeping the Indian armed forces weak. He said they mocked our armed forces, questioned their valor and tried every trick to ensure India does not get the latest Rafale planes. In Bihar, campaigning is in full swing for the second and third phase of assembly elections. Star campaigner of BJP and Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh Yogi Adityanath addressed a rally in Daronda in Siwan. Union Minister Dharmendra Pradhan addressed a rally in East Champaran. RJD leader Tejasvi Prasad held multiple rallies in Madhubani, Darbhanga and Sitamarhi and Vaishali districts and sought people's support for his party in the election. LJP leader Chirag Paswan today again attacked Chief Minister Nitish Kumar. He alleged that Nitish Kumar is hand in glove with Rahul Gandhi. BSP leader Mayawati today said that her party has decided to defeat SP candidate in the future MLC elections in UP. She said that BSP will put all force to defeat SP, even if the party will have to give its vote to BJP candidates. President Ram Nath Kovind promulgated an ordinance to constitute a commission for air quality management in NCR and adjoining areas. The commission will work towards better coordination and resolution of problems surrounding the air quality index in NCR and adjoining areas. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will participate in Ekta Divas celebrations at Gujarat's Kevadia on the 31st of October on the occasion of the birth anniversary of Sardar Patel. PM Modi will also inaugurate various projects under integrated development of Kevadia on the 30th and 31st of October. National Investigation Agency conducted searches at 9 locations in Srinagar and Bandipora in Jammu and Kashmir and 1 location in Bangalore in connection with a case pertaining to certain so-called NGOs and trusts raising funds in India and abroad in the name of charitable activities and then using those funds for carrying out secessionist and separatist activities in J&K. Rain slashed Chennai and its suburbs since the early hours today, which resulted in heavy waterlogging across several localities in the city. the heavy rainfall threw normal life out of gear since many commuters were stranded due to the waterlogging. Union Civil Aviation Minister Hardeep Singh Puri said he is expecting that figures of operations under domestic civil aviation will reach pre-COVID levels by the end of the year. India has demonstrated a consistent increase in the COVID-19 testing infrastructure since January 2020, resulting in an exponential increase in its testing numbers. The country's testing capacities have been ramped up multiple times. 15 lakh tests can be done every day now. With 10,75,760 tests conducted in the last 24 hours, the cumulative tests have crossed 10.65 crore. Nearly 11 lakh tests have been conducted daily on an average during the past 6 weeks. As evidence has revealed, comprehensive and widespread testing on a sustained basis has resulted in bringing down the positivity rate. The sharp decline in national cumulative positivity rate has demonstrated that the rate of spread of infection is being effectively contained. The cumulative positivity rate has been falling progressively and has touched 7.54% today. The declining trend of cumulative positivity rate in the past 3 weeks is a testimony of the wide expansion of the country's testing facilities. 1 crore tests were conducted in the last 9 days. The daily positivity rate stands at 4.64%. India continues to maintain the declining trend of the active cases. Active cases stand at 6,03,687 today. It comprises only 7.51% of the total positive cases of the country. The declining trend of the active cases is supported by a rising number of recovered cases. The total recovered cases have crossed 73 lakh. The gap between recovered cases and active cases have crossed 67 lakh. With increasing number of recoveries, this gap is continuously widening. 56,480 have recovered and have been discharged in the last 24 hours, whereas the new confirmed cases stand at 49,881. 79% of the new recovered cases are observed to be concentrated in 10 states and union territories. Benchmark indices continued the sell-off on the second day, with Sensex down by 172.61 points at 39,749.85 and the Nifty down 58.8 points at 11,670.8. About 1,019 shares have advanced, 1,542 shares have declined and 170 shares are unchanged. Gold prices in India edged lower in tandem with a fall in global rates. On MCX, December gold futures slipped 0.14% to 50,426 per 10 gram. In the previous session, gold prices on MCX had declined 0.9% or 450 per 10 gram. Silver prices edged 0.06% lower to 60,100 per kg. Both the precious metals had slumped in the previous session. In the previous session, silver had crashed 2,080 rupees to or 3.3% per kilogram. The rupee continued its downward journey on a Thursday, sliding another 23 paise to settle at 74.1 against the US dollar, tracking weak domestic equities and strong American currency amid global risk aversion. Crude oil futures on Thursday fell by 0.47% to 2,759 rupees per barrel as participants reduced their positions on low demand. On the multi-commodity exchange, crude oil for November delivery eased by 13 rupees or 0.47% to 2,759 rupees per barrel with a business volume of 3,589 lots. Domestic petrol and diesel rates remained at existing levels on a Thursday. That marked a 27th straight day of steady prices of petrol and 37th in case of diesel. Currently, petrol and diesel prices vary in different parts of the country due to taxes. Union Minister of Petroleum and Natural Gas and Steel, Dharmendra Pradhan, has invited the global industry and experts to become partners in India's shared prosperity by enhancing India's production of all forms of energy. Speaking at the concluding session of Sera Week India Energy Forum, he said that inauguration of India Energy Forum by Prime Minister Modi is reflective of the importance the Government of India attaches to improve energy security, architecture and transform our energy landscape at a time when the COVID-19 pandemic is impacting adversely the global energy sector. Income Tax Department carried out searches on Wednesday at 22 premises in Coimbatore, Erode, Chennai and Namakkal on a group engaged in the running of educational institutions and their associates, including a civil contractor. The search was carried out on the basis of information that fees collected from students were not fully accounted for in the regular books of accounts. Evidences found during the search revealed that the allegations regarding suppression of fees received were true and the unaccounted receipts are siphoned off to the personal accounts of the trustees. Over 4 crore 48 lakh coronavirus cases have been reported worldwide, with over 11 lakh 79,000 deaths. Over 3 crore 27 lakh people have recovered from the virus so far globally. The United States continues to top the list among the worst hit countries by the pandemic, with the highest number of infections and deaths. The United States has crossed the 91 lakh mark in terms of infections, with over 91 lakh 21,000 cases of coronavirus, with the death toll surging past 2 lakh 33,000. French President Emmanuel Macron has announced a second nationwide lockdown from the 30th of October to try to contain the rebound of COVID-19. The national lockdown in France will be till at least the end of November. In an address to the nation on Wednesday, Macron said that under the new measures, people would only be allowed to leave home for essential work or medical reasons. However, schools will remain open with reinforced health measures. The new measures will come into force from Friday. Earlier this month, Macron announced a nighttime curfew in Paris and other big cities, but officials said this week acknowledged that measure had proved insufficient to bring down infection rates, requiring a more drastic response. Germany will impose an emergency lockdown from the 2nd of November. German Chancellor Angela Merkel has announced that month-long lockdown will include the closure of restaurants, gyms and theatres, but not schools or daycare centres. The Chancellor said the measures were necessary to avoid a national emergency. Canada's Finance Minister Chrystia Freeland has said that the government will continue spending heavily to combat a COVID-19 pandemic, but the government's response is limited and temporary. Italy has registered 24,991 new coronavirus infections on Wednesday, a record high and up from 21,994 on Tuesday, as cases in the northern region of Lombardy surged. President Donald Trump, a Republican candidate, held a rally in Arizona, drawing criticism that he is prioritizing his re-election above the health of his supporters. Former Vice President Joe Biden, a Democrat presidential candidate, and his wife Jill cast their ballots for the 2020 election, joining more than 74 million Americans who have voted, with 6 days remaining in the contest. A violent protest unfolded in Mexico, followed by the death of a local man in custody. In the Mexican city of Jalapa, dozens of protesters forced open the doors to a shuttered police station. Officers responded by using smoke against the demonstrators to force them back. Gustavo Ortiz, 36, died at the police station on the 24th of October after he was detained by officers. Fresh clashes have unfolded between Armenia and Azerbaijan, with both accusing each other of killing civilians by shelling cities in and around Nagorno-Karabakh. Azerbaijan said 21 people were killed when Armenian shells hit the town of Barda in the northeast of Nagorno-Karabakh. Armenian-backed officials in Nagorno-Karabakh said Azeri shells had fallen on the enclave's two largest cities, killing one person. Both sides have denied each other's claims. Armenia and Azerbaijan had agreed upon fresh US brokered ceasefire after weeks of clashes over the region, violating the earlier ceasefire. Today is a World Stroke Day. The day is observed to raise awareness about prevention and treatment of stroke. Australian scientists said that they have discovered a detached coral reef on the Great Barrier Reef that exceeds even the height of iconic buildings like the Empire State Building and the Eiffel Tower. Scientists filmed their mountain climb exploration of the new reef, which is 500 meters tall and 1.5 kilometers wide. The famous West Coast Halloween parades may be cancelled, but residents of Los Angeles can still enjoy some pumpkin fun at a drive-through ranch in Calabasas. A new event devised as Knights of the Jacks allows cars to drive through numerous themed displays made from pumpkins. The event uses between 4,000 and 5,000 pumpkins for the exhibit. A Belgian chocolatier, Pierre Marcolini, has been crowned the world's best pastry chef by a jury of independent reporters, enhancing Belgium's reputation as a producer of top-class chocolate. Known for his minimalist style, Marconi's chocolates have become luxury gifts, with some boxes selling for more than €100. Britain's Prince Charles visited the Bank of England on Wednesday to highlight the role the central bank is playing in supporting the economy through lockdowns imposed to tackle COVID-19. Prince of Wales and his wife Camilla, Duchess of Cornwall, were welcomed to Threadneedle Street as the UK's $3 trillion economy has been battered by restrictions imposed due to coronavirus. In just 15 years, Croatia's Istrian Peninsula in the northern Adriatic has become one of the world's best producers of olive oil, decorated with top industry awards. In 2020, Istria won the Flos Olei Guide's Best Region in the World Award for extra virgin olive oil for a sixth consecutive year. FC Barcelona were boosted by goals from Dembele and Lionel Messi as they maintained their perfect start to the UEFA Champions League with a 2-0 win against Juventus. This win leaves Barcelona top of Group G with 6 points and Juventus on 3. Juventus were missing the services of Cristiano Ronaldo due to coronavirus. Barca manager Ronald Koeman described Barcelona's 2-0 Champions League triumph away at Juventus as the best game of the season. Marcus Rashford scored a second-half hat-trick, in fact, as Manchester United defeated RB Leipzig 5-0. Mason Greenwood and Anthony Martial also got on the score sheet on a perfect night for Man U in the Champions League. Since the 6-1 humiliation at the hands of Tottenham, United have collected 3 victories and a draw, including back-to-back clean sheets. Hakim Ziyech scored his first Chelsea goal as Frank Lampard's side picked up 3 points in an emphatic 4-0 win against Russian club Krasnodar. 27-year-old Ziyech added 2 goals from Callum Hudson-Odoi, Timo Werner and Christian Pulisic as Chelsea returned to goal-scoring ways in style. 4 points from 2 games is a solid start to the Champions League campaign, and despite the run of draws, Chelsea have now lost just once in 10 games this term. Borussia Dortmund defeated visitors Zenit St. Petersburg 2-0 in their Champions League Group F match. Dortmund needed a 78th-minute penalty from Jadon Sancho and a stoppage-time goal from Erling Haaland to win the match. Paris Saint-Germain's Moise Kean scored twice and Kylian Mbappé grabbed 2 assists as they overcame a sluggish start to beat Turkish side Istanbul Başakşehir 2-0. 20-year-old Kean opened the scoring in the 64th minute and then got the second in the 79th minute. Manchester United defender Alex Telles has tested positive for novel coronavirus. Telles missed Wednesday's 5-0 victory over RB Leipzig. World number 1 Novak Djokovic battled past Croatia's Borna Coric 7-6, 6-3 to book his spot in the Vienna Open quarterfinals. With this win, Djokovic all but secured the year-end top ranking. He could only be passed by Rafael Nadal, who would need to take a wildcard into next month's Sofia event to try and overhaul him. Third-seeded Greek Stefanos Tsitsipas saw off Germany's Jan-Lennard Struff 6-7, 6-3, 6-4 in just under 2 hours in Vienna. Fourth seed Daniil Medvedev of Russia eased past Jason Jung 6-3, 6-1. Medvedev will face next Vasek Pospisil, who beat Felix Auger-Aliassime. Defending champion Lakshya Sen was forced to pull out of the Saarloher Lux Open in Germany after his coach DK Sen tested positive for COVID-19. Lakshya and his coach have now requested for another COVID-19 test in order to determine their return date to India. LA Dodgers fans went wild after team's first World Series win in 32 years. Fans in Los Angeles immediately took to the streets to celebrate. Slovenian Primoz Roglic pulled off a brilliant late attack to win in Stage 8 of Vuelta a España on Wednesday and eat into the overall lead of Richard Carapaz. The Italian government has banned spectators from attending this weekend's Emilia Romagna Grapery. The rise of coronavirus cases across Italy has forced a U-turn. Shakib Al Hasan's international ban ends today and Bangladesh cricket is in a carnival atmosphere. Celebrated British artist Tracey Emin had a cancerous tumour removed from her bladder. The 57-year-old was diagnosed last spring, operated on in the summer and is now in remission. In an article, Emin said she has had many of her female reproductive organs removed and that she now also has a stoma bag. Musicians are using an interactive hologram based on Victorian technology to reach their fans in the locked-down world of the coronavirus pandemic. Musician 3D teamed up with the Faroe Islands singer Dan Olsen to launch Fanshare, a modern twist on an illusion technique known as Pepper's Ghost, involving a huge sheet of glass which was used in theatres in the 1860s. The technology allows a performer to be anywhere in the world, ideal in a time of rapidly changing restrictions on public life caused by the pandemic. In the long run, musician wants to do with live music what Netflix did for television, creating a system for getting gigs to people's mobile phones. Baby Yoda has joined some of the most famous faces in the UK, being unveiled as an exclusive portrait in collaboration with London's National Portrait Gallery. The 3-foot by 2-foot oil painting, The Mandalorian and the Child, commissioned to mark the arrival of the second season of The Mandalorian on Disney. Nicole Kidman will soon star in and produce a drama series called Things I Know to Be True for Amazon's Prime Video platform. The show is her third at Amazon, following The Expatriates and Pretty Things. Demi Moore, Harry Milling and Carl Glusman have joined Andrea Riseborough in the period drama Please Baby Please. The project lies around newlyweds Sue and Arthur, who witness a murder in the gritty streets of a surreal 1980s Manhattan. Filming is underway in Montana. The Los Angeles Film Critics Association has announced director-screenwriter Hao Xiao-sen and songwriter Harry Belafonte as recipients of this year's Career Achievement Awards and Norman Lloyd as the recipient of its Legacy Award. Deemed to be her first directorial debut, the film is a love letter to caregivers and people with special abilities. The film stars Tony and Grammy Award winner Leslie Odom Jr., alongside Sia Protege and breakout star Maddie Ziegler. The film also features 10 new songs and musical pieces. Through fantastical musical sequences, she paints an alternative world for music and the cast of characters. Softy, an award winner at the Sundance and Durban Film Festivals, shows the evolution of Boniface Mwangi from an activist outraged by the 2007-2008 Kenya election violence into a political candidate, promising his new Ukweli party will change the system from within a decade later. The film, that swooped up awards at the Sundance and Durban Film Festivals, follows his evolution into politics. Softy begins with Boniface outraged by the 2007-08 election violence. It documents an activist's journey toward creating his own political party a decade later. Filmmaker Sam Soko, who is an activist himself, said the film started out as a 5-minute YouTube clip about organizing a protest. It sprawled into a 7-year project, now streaming on PBS in the United States and Britain's BBC. That's it then in this edition of Express News. News and updates will continue on DD India. Stay tuned.